What's up everyone, it's Magic here. So around 2 weeks ago, Sony announced new firmware update for Sony A7 IV, which is version 1.10. Then they canceled the update, but now it's back on, so you can update your cameras. And since I have two A7 IVs, I decided to update one of them, and one kept in like the older version just to see how it works and what are the differences. And specifically, I wanted to check two things that are interesting to me. One being the option to shoot smaller RAW files in the new update. And the second one being like this eye autofocus issue accuracy fix. And before jumping to the comparison photos, just one note, like it is super simple to update your Sony A7 IV. Now you can just do it via SD card. So all you have to do is first download version 1.05. So for some reason you have to download the version in between first. Copy the file to your SD card, put the SD card in a camera, go to setup, version, and just click software update. Make sure your battery is 100% charged. And then if you click update, you'll see your camera just gonna shut down. And what you're going to see is that red light on the bottom right of your camera will start to blink. The blinking will kind of correspond to the progress of the update. So at first you're going to see it blinking just one time every couple seconds. Then you're going to see it blinking 3 times. And then you're going to see it blinking 5 times, meaning you're almost done with your update. And then the camera will just power on again. Then you have to repeat the process with the version 1.10. Both links to these updates are in the description if you just want to go and download it right now. Okay, so let's talk about these two things that I wanted to check. I'm not going to cover everything that is in that update. You can just go to the website and see all the stuff that is updated. Again, small RAWs and IF accuracy. Sony added the option to shoot lossless compressed RAWs in 3 different sizes. Large being the full size, 33 megapixels, medium being medium size, 14 megapixels or around 14 megapixels, and then the small one being 8 megapixels. I personally don't see need for myself to shoot other resolutions than full, but I do know wedding photographers who, for example, will shoot all the dancing on all that part in the medium RAWs because they don't care about resolution that part of the day. So if you're a person like that, you might find it useful for you. And here's what I found out about these different RAW files. So first of all, no matter if you're shooting large, medium, or small size, you will still get 6 frames per second on your A7 IV. That's kind of a bummer. I was hoping that if you go down to the medium or to the small size, you'll be able to shoot 10 frames per second like you can with compressed files, but it's not the case. So lossless compression still is limited to 6 frames per second. If you want to shoot full 10 frames per second, you need to shoot compressed RAWs. Second thing about these RAWs that I wanted to check was if you're shooting medium or smaller size, does the image quality change? And maybe you can shoot higher ISOs with less noise or something like that. It could be possible. At least in my head, it was possible. But after checking the files, it looks like there's not much difference. You can actually download my test shots in the description. So there are test shots using all the different compressions, and then just look at this picture. So this is the photo that was shot at ISO 6400. It was underexposed by 2 stops, and then I brought up these 2 stops in the post. On the left, you can see a full uncompressed RAW, and on the right, you will see lossless compressed small RAW, so the smallest one. And if you zoom in 100%, of course, the uncompressed one was going to be bigger. So I'm going to just zoom out just to match them. Right now, you can see them matched in terms of resolution and the size. You can see that in terms of the noise performance, they're very, very similar. There's small difference in the noise pattern. So if you find it useful, yeah, go download the files and just analyze yourself. It might be difficult to tell looking at this YouTube compression here, but for me, the difference is not significant. And the third thing I noticed with the small RAWs is that the Lightroom currently cannot read the smallest option of the lossless compressed RAW. So the smallest one, Lightroom doesn't recognize it, macOS doesn't recognize it. So you can only open this file in a Sony Imagining Edge tool. Okay, so that's the small RAWs. The second one might be more interesting, the eye autofocus accuracy. A lot of people ask me questions about the IF accuracy, if I experience this, if I experience the problems with, camera shooting more eyebrows or eyelashes than the eye pupils itself. Personally, I didn't. I shoot a lot of photos with 50mm f1.2 at 1.2, but yeah, personally, like with my two pieces or like the work I do, like it didn't struck me that this is a problem. And also I was rocking a version 1.0 on my Sony A7IV, so I have never upgraded the firmware since I got them and still haven't got a problem. But just for the sake of comparison, seeing if there's any difference, I upgraded one of the cameras to 1.10 and I just set up this like quick portrait using a strobe light. So I put my camera on a tripod so I get the identical shot. I put two lights, one in front, one in the bottom, two strobes, and put my wife in front of me. A very tight portrait using 50mm f1.2, and I took 10 photos with the camera with upgraded software. Then I quickly changed the cameras and shot 10 photos with the camera with an older firmware, and both of them performed flawlessly actually. So both of them got like 9 out of 10 perfectly in focus, like eye pupil. And then both of them got this one shot somewhere in the middle of these 10 shots, being like more eyelash than the eye pupil. And also I was shooting them, I wasn't shooting like a series of 10 photos. I was refocusing every single time. So it was like one photo, second photo, third photo. Still, camera performed really well with both firmware. So yeah, not much difference there for me. If you are one of these people who are experiencing these issues, you can safely then upgrade to the new software and check it out, because at least for me, it doesn't make it worse. Sometimes I know we're afraid to upgrade the camera not to make things worse. It seems that this upgrade at least doesn't make it worse. For me, it made it like completely identical. In both cases, the cameras perform the same way. If you're interested in watching more videos about Sony A7 IV, I have a full playlist of it, like covering different aspects of these cameras, and also like a great autofocus guide here. So make sure you watch this one, and see you guys soon.